abroad. During our programme, we've managed to get really strong strategic partnerships. And this was only enabled by the work underwriting this, which was funded by by SWERDA. So we approached Rolls-Royce about 2 years ago about being a partner in our Technology Strategy Board programme, and they're providing our pitch system, which is the bit that makes the blades go round to regulate power, and also some of the shafts, and they're using them Rolls-Royce marine technology. We're working with one of their units up in Dunfermline in Scotland, and they're also providing all the skills for assembling our first machine. But alongside that, they've also invested in tidal generation. So they've invested all the matching funding for our programme, and they've also provided us with board members to help run the business well. We always knew that in order to achieve our objective of creating the best technology and making a significant impact, that we couldn't do it by ourselves. You don't get an SME can't possibly produce something that's going to have a turnover of 500 million. You just can't do it quickly enough to make the impact that we need to make to achieve our 2020 targets. So we went to the best engineering company possibly in the world, Rolls-Royce, and were delighted when they decided to go for our technology. International Power is a company that very few people have heard of. It's they're actually a very large company. They're at number 70 on the FTSE 100, and they generate power throughout the world. They own a few power generation plants in the UK. They're looking to get into low carbon technology. They've acquired a lot of wind, and they've set up now. They're working with us. They've set up a subsidiary called International Power Marine Developments, and they are working on developing a 10 megawatt farm in 2011. Now, they're also providing board support to us, and each of Rolls-Royce and International Power are sort of provided. We've got a sort of gated process, but provided all goes well, each of them are willing to commit £15 million to getting us to the stage of having this farm in 2011, which will enable us to really make this contribution we want to make. We also have strong relationships with our technology programme partners. As was previously mentioned, the TSB programme is collaborative grants, and with a project as complex as the kind of thing they're trying to fund, no company is going to have all the skills that you need to do something. So TGL provides the entrepreneurship and the main bit of innovation. And then we've got the engineering of Rolls-Royce. SLP Engineering have done our foundation engineering for us. Garrett Hassan and Partners are very well known in Bristol as probably the leading authority in the world on wind farms. And Edmund Nuttall is obviously a very large construction company, and one of their subsidiaries, Ritchie's, is one of the world experts in drilling. And they've come in as a partner, and we thought it was a significant achievement to get them as a partner, actually, because they've never been involved in any grant funding before, and they've got to match fund it. So for a Scottish contracting outfit to do that is quite impressive. So growth over the last 3 years, it's quite impressive. We started off with, well, very little, with our 30,000 investment from the founders at the beginning, and then we got in February. We got in the £75,000 grant from SWERDA, which enabled us to get in £200,000 of investment from sort of friends and family. And then we got £400,000 from TSB, and then £500,000 from TSB, and then £3 million from TSB. And that's enabling us to put our prototype in the water and keep our programme on target. Our staff growth also, we've gone from being 3 people to being 14 of our own people, plus about 8 other people within companies such as Rolls-Royce that are working on our project. So it's grown a lot. Now, I said I was quick. I didn't mean to be quite this quick. So what's our advantage? Our advantages are that we've got experience. We're one of the few companies that's managed to do this with experience in the past. We've got a first-rate consortium. We've got a place to put our machine up at the European Marine Energy Centre. It's a little bit like Wave Hub. It's got 5 berths for tidal generators. I have to say, actually, that we're not Wave, we're Tidal. So just people get very confused between Wave and Tidal. So tidal stream is like wind, where the body of water flows past and turns the rotor, and wave is obviously the movement of the water as a sort of body. So we've got a berth up at the European Marine Energy Centre, which is like Wave Hub, but on a sort of different scale, smaller scale. Our foundation is what gives us our real competitive advantage. If you compare to the other leading developers in our sector, our foundation is about 80 tonnes a megawatt. The gravity foundations, where people rely on gravity to resist all the thrusts that the machine encounters, are 2,500 tonnes. And that's sort of an unimaginably big number for me. And engineers among you will know what 2,500 tonnes is, but it's huge. Our rapid installation method, which enables not only to use to do it cheaply, because the cost of the vessels is so high that the cost of installing a machine, if you take 4 days of a vessel, is going to be £200,000 in vessel costs before you've done anything else. So our machine, we ultimately install them in one machine per day, which means that we can get the installation cost down to about £50,000 compared to £200,000. And it also means that over a summer, where you've only got a limited number of suitable weather windows, you have an opportunity to install a farm. We're in a very unfriendly environment, and it's difficult to make these things work. Our low-cost deep water maintenance is also critical to our success. It's, again, as the environment is awful. It's the site where we're going to at EMEC, the flows get up to 9 knots, which is 4.5 metres per second, if you can imagine that, sort of going across the screen in less than a second. It's really fast water flow, and working in those kind of sites is very difficult, and you've got to have really good processes to make that work. And we believe we can achieve a lower install cost than offshore wind is currently, and we're very close to demonstration, which will be late 2008, early 2009. I suppose I should say something about innovation. We were presented with this opportunity on our laps, really. We were in this situation where we felt we couldn't carry on with what we were doing because we didn't believe in it, and then just through having ideas among ourselves, we felt we knew the right way to go. So I don't think we're a typical example of innovation, because it just fell in our laps and we just had to pick it up and do it. But it did take a lot of courage. SWERDA has been fantastic. Getting that £75,000 grant, getting the support of SWERDA, getting the championship of SWERDA. So particularly when we were going for the TSB grants, as a micro organisation, you actually have to prove that you're worthy to apply. So if you have fewer than 10 staff, you need to get specific permission to be a coordinator. So it was a battle to get the first grant. But once we'd got the first grant and we'd got the relationship going, then it was great. And that was very much supported by SWERDA. And anything about it? I think we should let you move on to the questions, because